Hi, this is Watershot. Today we want to do a quick demo of the new app, the Watershot for iPhone app that's available for use with the Watershot for iPhone camera housing. The app's available on the App Store. It's free. It's called Watershot for iPhone. Download it. Once you download it, put it on your phone in this location here in the bottom right corner. That's the ideal location so you can make sure you can open and close the app while the phone is in the housing. The other thing you want to do before you put your phone in the housing is you want to go into your settings, go into General, and you'll see a thing called auto lock. What you want to do is turn the auto lock to never. As you can see here, what that does is keeps your phone from locking when it goes to sleep. If it locks while the phone is in the housing, you can't unlock it because you can't slide within the housing. So if you turn that to never, it won't be a problem. Okay, so now what we'll do is I'll open the app here. Just click on the icon. It'll open up. When it opens up the first time, so you want to do this before you put the camera in the housing. The first time you open it, it'll ask you this question: do you want to let it use location services? You can say okay or don't allow. Typically okay, so it knows where you are. And then the other thing that you need to do is if you click this bottom button and you go into the playback mode, it may ask you a question about whether you want to give the app access to your album. You want to say yes to that. Once you've answered those two questions, now the app won't ask you any questions that require you to touch the screen anywhere except for the 3 ideal locations. So what we've done on the app is we put all the camera functions in basically 3 locations here on the phone. And what that does is that lets you use, when the phone is in the camera housing, the buttons line up with those 3 locations so that you can do all the functions needed to take pictures, review pictures, change modes while the phone is in the camera housing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out of the housing just because it's easier to demo here and show you some of the things. So when the app opens, it initially comes up in camera mode. In camera mode, what that does is that's the action mode, lets you take pictures. And there's basically 3 button locations. Each location can do 2 functions, a quick press or a hold, and they do different things. So the upper button, what it does, a quick press, what it does is it changes the mode between photo and video. And you can see up here on the display bar it says video now. If I hit this button again, it goes to single shot, which is photo mode. If I hold down this button, it brings up a cool feature, brings up a compass that lets you know which direction you're facing. To turn that back off, hold down the top button and that'll turn it off. The center button, just like on most camera apps, is the shutter button. So if I press that quickly, it takes a picture, and then saves the photo. If I hold down this center button for a few seconds, it puts the app to sleep, helps save battery, helps the phone from getting too hot, and then you just touch any of the buttons to wake it back up. The bottom button, if you touch it, it will go into what we call playback mode. So it'll switch over to playback mode. So what playback mode does is shows you the pictures you've just taken. So you can see that's the picture I just took. Here's some other pictures that I've taken. So these 2 buttons here just let you cycle through and look at your pictures. The bottom button, if you touch it again, you go back to camera mode. When you're in camera mode, this bottom button also has a hold function. If you hold it down, it brings up a menu. Within this menu, there's a couple different options. Camera type option, and you can cycle down through these menu options using these buttons here. Select it, so select camera mode. You can change to the front or back camera. Exit out of the menu, open the menu back up. Go to photo options here. You can do single shot or burst mode when you're in photo mode. Burst mode, what that is it takes more than 1 picture at a time. So if I select burst mode, go into here, and now I hit the shutter, and I'll be quiet, you'll hear it takes multiple pictures. So it took 3 pictures at a time there in burst mode. So that's, and let's see, the last option is orientation. You can change the orientation of the camera from landscape to portrait. Okay, now I'm going to switch back over to playback mode here. As you saw, the top 2 buttons, what they do is they just cycle through the different pictures. But the bottom button, if you press it, it jumps back into camera mode, but if you hold it down, it brings up a menu in the playback mode. And the menu here allows you to post to Facebook or tweet your picture on Twitter. So you just select that and it'll automatically post to Facebook. So that's the main camera functions. There's also functions that you can set up when the iPhone is not in the housing. So basically before you go out, you can change some modes. And so if you click this icon here that says Watershot, it opens up a background menu. In the background menu, there's a bunch of options in here, including reading a tutorial, album, lets you view pictures in your album, services. This is where you go to set up your Facebook account, Twitter account, and YouTube account. And we also have a default action message. What this message is anytime you post to Facebook or Twitter, this text will be posted automatically with your picture. It comes with a default text within there, but you can erase it and type in your own text if you'd like. And the other thing that is in here, if you go into action camera settings, there's a bunch of settings within the camera. So camera timers, you can adjust how many pictures are taken in burst mode. You can adjust the max video recording time so you don't accidentally record a really long video, and you can adjust the sleep timer. Saving photos, you can either do that in automatic or manual mode. Automatic mode, what that does is as soon as you take a picture, it automatically saves it. If you switch to manual mode, I'll show you how that works real quick. You go back out here. Let me turn this off, go down here to photo options, turn it back to single shot. And so now I'm in single shot photo mode. If I take a picture, instead of automatically saving the picture, it asks me a question. Do I want to save it or do I want to retake it? You hit the disk icon to save it, you hit the camera icon to retake it. Okay, back in here to action camera settings. So that's the saving photos option. Front and rear camera, this just lets you switch between the front or rear camera. Orientation, this discusses the orientation, landscape or portrait, allows you to adjust that. Display bar, that's the display bar that showed what mode you're in. You can turn that on or off. GPS, that lets you turn on or off your GPS locations that are displayed on the screen. So I can show you that. Back here you can see your GPS locations are shown down here. So that's basically how the app works. Thanks.